My name is Chase Sr. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. Thanks for hopping on board and joining the show. Coming up, another loaded show to get to. We have some breaking news on Jalen Hurts. Eagles fans are going to love this, and this might shock some Eagles fans. It's all coming your way right now, but I do want to gauge the temperature of this fan base, and I want to see where everybody is at here. With that Eagles 31-0 win over the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday, the offense had a really good performance. They seem to be getting back on track, or at least working toward a place that is functional on the offensive side of the football. So, do you believe in the Eagles again? I want you to type a simple yes or no down in the comment section. And with that, let's get it rolling. And let's begin here with the latest injury update on quarterback Jalen Hurts. He was so good against the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday, leading Philadelphia to a 31-0 win. It was the most efficient passing game of Jalen Hurts' career and the most efficient passing game that any quarterback has had in the 2025 season. But he got tackled awkwardly at the end of the third quarter by former Eagle Devin White when Hurts tried to run the ball. He started the fourth quarter after that injury, though, by coming back into the game, and he threw a touchdown rope to A.J. Brown on a beautiful throw right down the left seam that put the Eagles up 31-0. And after that, we didn't see Jalen Hurts again because Tanner McKee came in, as he always does. He looked very prepared, had a couple of completions, Tank Bigsby getting the bulk of the carries, but that had a lot of Eagles fans questioning the injury status of Jalen Hurts coming out of that game, going into Saturday's Week 16 game against the Commanders on a short week. And did Hurts leave the game because the Eagles were up? Did he leave because of that injury? He shook it off at the end of the third to come back to start the fourth quarter. But with ankle injuries, sometimes they can really creep up on you. The pain doesn't go away. Were the Eagles exercising a more cautious approach here? So that's obviously something that we're going to continue to monitor all throughout this week, and we'll get to what Nick Sirianni had to say about this injury here in a moment. This is the play in which it happened, and Jalen Hurts has had his history of some lower body injuries, especially late in the year. This also happened against the Rams last year, and the injury status of Hurts was a big topic of conversation and worry for Eagles fans going into the NFC Championship game, but of course Hurts was okay. But as you can see here, he's tackled by Devin White as he tried to run to his right, and his ankle kind of got caught beneath him. And so he went down awkwardly. This is a classic body movement where your own body weight is on that ankle. So is the defender's. And I was just happy to see Hurts get up from this with the slight limp. He was clearly trying to shake it off a little bit. But you worry here about the ankle. You worry about the knee. And I worried about that right in the moment because this was a scary play as far as the process of it goes and the potential injury concerns that you have when you see a play like that. Now, in the post-game interview with Pam Oliver in the aftermath of that Eagles dominant effort, Hurts did say he's going to have to see what's going on with the ankle. He added, I shook it off. I was able to respond the next play, threw that dime ball right in stride to A.J. Brown. Love the collaborative approach that the Eagles had on offense, by the way, with everybody getting involved on Sunday. Nick Sirianni this morning on 94 WIP said that Hurts did come out of that game because of the lead, not the injury. So that's obviously a good sign here because the Eagles are going to have a walkthrough today on this short week. But Sirianni always keeps it coy with the media as far as injuries go. Some players like that approach. Some players don't. Obviously, we want as much clarity as possible. But then Nick Sirianni had a media session with the Philadelphia media early this afternoon, and he would not comment on Jalen Hurts' injury when asked and pressed about it. So the injury report is going to come out a little bit later today. But my read on this seems like a good sign for Jalen Hurts' availability and health in playing against Washington. Of note, as I alluded to, this is a short week for the Eagles playing the Commanders on Saturday. I know the Commanders are bad, although they're coming off a win against the New York Giants, but this is a big game for Philadelphia to continue this offensive rhythm and momentum, but they can win the NFC East on Saturday at Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland. Philadelphia 6-point favorites. The over-under for this game at 44.5. Depending on the status of Hurts, if he can't play, I imagine the line will change a little bit. Kickoff is set for 5 p.m. Eastern, a rare 5 p.m. Saturday game. And we'll be live for it right here on Eagles Now. That's why you hit that subscribe button. But with a win on Saturday, Eagles win the NFC East. They become the first repeat winner to go back-to-back in this division since they last did it in 2003-2004. If the Eagles do lose, they could still have a celebration, but they would need the Dallas Cowboys to lose as well on Sunday. You look at the NFC East standings, Philadelphia 9-5, the Cowboys 6-7-1, the Commanders, the foe this week, 4-10. And isn't it crazy we're not going to see Jaden Daniels at all against the Eagles this year because the Birds play Washington 2 times in the final 3 weeks. Jaden Daniels being sit for the rest of the year with the litany of injuries, kind of re-aggravated that dislocated elbow the other week. And speaking of short weeks, Sirianni's record on short weeks. In 2021, first year as a head coach, 1-3. 2022, Eagles make it to the Super Bowl, 3-1. 2024 on short weeks, Sirianni 3-1. No short weeks in 2023, although there was that gauntlet stretch. This year, short week record for the Eagles head coach, 2-2, overall record of 9-7. So him and the Eagles, no strangers to these short weeks. There have been some interesting 2025 turnarounds this year. The Eagles have gone from playing a game from Sunday to Thursday, Monday to Sunday, Sunday to Friday, Monday to Sunday. Now, Philadelphia faced with a Sunday to Saturday. So just tallying that up right now, the Eagles will have played games this season on a Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. They're a primetime draw. That's what happens when you're a winning team, but definitely a funky schedule this season. Before we continue to push forward on today's show, because we're only getting started, let's go, real ones. Thank you so much for your continued support of everything that we do here on Eagles Now. We're 208 people away from another fantastic milestone of 140,000 subscribers. If you ain't subscribed, you ain't alive. Still to come here on the show, we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts' impact and his health status and why it's important for this football club. Eagles fans going to love this, and this might shock Eagles fans. It's all coming up right now. Don't you dare go anywhere, especially if you're a real one. Let's get to our sponsor first and pay the bills here. Today's Eagles Now, sponsored by our good friends at hellotushy.com/chat. The Tushy Luxury Bidet is going to change your life. Let's talk more about what Tushy has to offer. It's the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and your bottom health for life. Whether you're shopping for a bro, yourself, CEO, daddy, activist, somebody who lights their farts on fire, this is a gift that refuses to pick a lane. Luxurious, practical, techie, so easy to use. 99% of people who wash with Tushy Wave feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom. Tushy Wave instantly modernizes your daily routine and bathroom with a super sleek seat plus 2 separate front and rear nozzles for the most complete clean. It also features a soft close lid and seat that is slam-proof for a gentle, luxurious finish. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. And 9 out of 10 people reduce itching and discomfort. It's a very fast do-it-yourself install. It takes about 10 minutes to complete. Literally anybody can do it. Remember, a-hole, only a naughty word if you wipe. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use the code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com/chat using that promo code CHAT. We appreciate Tushy for making today's Eagles Now possible. All right. Why Jalen Hurts' health is important for this entire Eagles team, considering what they did against the Las Vegas Raiders. Philadelphia's offense just dropped 31 points. It seems as though they've gotten out of that rut that they were in since the bye week. In the last 2 games, from a scheme, play calling, play design, and offensive production standpoint, we've seen a lot of encouraging signs since Nick Sirianni has taken more of an onus on this offense. With the playoffs approaching, it's important for Philadelphia to find a rhythm. This Raiders game, a morale boost, getting their confidence up, I think that can get the offense rolling. Dallas Goedert talked about that. He agrees. And I want Jalen Hurts in this offense gaining steam with the playoffs coming up around the corner so that Philadelphia as a team is peaking during the biggest time of the year. And a big takeaway from Sunday's game has to do with Hurts' injury status and whether or not he's going to be hampered by this injury. It was how dynamic he was with his legs, with design runs, but also being able to create with his feet out of structure on some of the freelance plays. He had a couple of big runs in the game that were huge plays at the time. What was also important for this Eagles offense, which is why it's important for everybody to still play, be on the same page, to get quality reps in, is because all year, this Eagles offense has been disjointed. That's from a blocking standpoint, running standpoint, passing standpoint, execution standpoint, play calling point of view. But the Eagles, important here, had their fewest penalties of the year against the Las Vegas Raiders with only 3. So the concentration was there, the timing was there, the continuity was there as well. And that led to Jalen Hurts having the most efficient quarterback game of any quarterback in the NFL this year. 12 of 15, $175, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Should have been 4 touchdowns if Dallas Goedert didn't drop that touchdown. And a rating of 154.9. And it's not just me who's talking about the importance of rhythm and flow. Dallas Goedert talking about that as well. He said this about the offensive performance on Sunday. It was fun playing with the guys. I think we can use the momentum and get a little confidence back and just know that we can do it. Sometimes you just got to stick through the hard times and good things come out of it. And we saw that result in a really nice game on Sunday against Las Vegas. Let's get to this before we hop on out of here. What I'm about to tell you might shock a lot of Eagles fans out there because the 2025 season on offense has been maddening for Philadelphia. Highest paid offensive unit in the National Football League. The offensive line has not been good. Saquon Barkley has also had a down year. A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith have been frustrated with the passing game at times. Jalen Hurts has been hot, but he's also been cold. Fans have wanted offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo to get fired. A couple of weeks ago, Nick Sirianni had to step in to have a louder voice with offensive preparations. But with all of that being said, the Eagles could still have 2 1,000-yard receivers in A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith when you look at this photo. They could also have a 1,000-yard running back in Saquon Barkley, and they could have a tight end in Dallas Goedert who's put together a career year who could have 10 touchdowns. So despite all of the offensive struggles, the Eagles have still had some great production, and Jalen Hurts for the 3rd straight year is going to account for more than 30 touchdowns. How about that? In the city of Philadelphia, sometimes things are a little bit better than what they seem. That could be the case here. Don't forget to give me a follow on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Chase_Senior. It's the same handle on all platforms. I just started this TikTok page, and I'm already past 4,000 followers there. I'm just giving you additional Eagles content on top of and in addition to what we're doing here on the channel.